Yeah, good morning. I am Vani Prasad Kosli. I have 8 years of experience into IT field. Previously, I worked as an WebLogic administrator. That is for 4 years. So later on, I just shifted to Linux, AWS, and DevOps. That is almost 4.5 years. So I worked with many companies like Tech Mahindra, Reliance Jio, and InLogic and Ojas Innovative Technologies. So I'll be supporting, many projects. So this is all about me. Can we have quick interaction about yourself? Yes, it is. Am I audible? Yeah, Sujit and Bunny, can we have some quick introduction?
My name is Sujit GV. I have 5 years experience into Linux field and 6 years into Windows administration.
Mhm.
Total altogether 11 years experience into IT industry. And presently I'm looking for a job on AWS or mostly on Linux and AWS.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, Bunny. Yeah, Bunny is on mute. Okay, let's say, start with what do what do you think like cloud technology? Before AWS, Azure, or GCP, do you think that we have some cloud technology? We have imported some cloud technology. What do we think? Hello? Hello?
Cloud technology means we can host servers, serverless hosting and serverless work on through internet only. We can work. We can store the data. We can send the data. We can migrate the data. That is what I'm having idea on cloud technologies.
Yeah, that's good. But my question is before AWS, Azure, GCP, do you have, what we are in use of cloud technologies before that also?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, an example?
Example,
Yeah.
Azure, Azure, and I don't have much example.
Yeah. So before going into the this cloud technology, like what are all the topics we are going to cover? So I think you are familiar with the Linux, right? You are pretty good with your Linux, right?
Yes, yes,
Linux administration skills. So that is, your 50% of the job is done. To do any AWS
yes,
or DevOps job. So that's pretty good.
yes.
So if you have Linux, that is a main prerequisite to get familiar with the AWS or DevOps. So anyway, you are having Linux administration skills. So learning AWS and DevOps is very pretty easy.
Yeah.
So here we are skipping Linux. Okay. So we'll start with AWS,
Okay.
DevOps, and Terraform. So in DevOps, so that is we'll be covering Git, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes. So for AWS, it is like 20 to 25 days. 25 days or 30, yeah, 30 days is required. For all these DevOps tools, again, that is 20 days. Terraform, it is like 10 days. So this is how our program goes on. Altogether like 60 days. So as we discussed, like AWS is an, as we know, like definition is Amazon web service, but it's a cloud technology, right? What did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cloud technology. What exactly it does do? So before going, I mean, before getting into AWS, so we are also in use of cloud before AWS, Azure, GCP. Likewise, our Google Drive. Do you know Google Drive? You are pretty familiar, right?
I'm aware of Google Drive.
Yeah, we are using before AWS also. Even Dropbox, right?
Yes, yes.
So what are all these? These are also cloud, right?
Yes, that is also cloud.
Yeah, these are hosted somewhere else, right?
Yes, they'll be stored at somewhere in the on the storage data.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, what exactly that Google Drive will give you? So, what exactly you can do with the Google Drive or Dropbox? Being it's
We
a
can
cloud
store
cloud technology. Yeah. Go ahead.
we can store data onto that Google Drive, and
Hmm.
we can access data to through internet in any from anywhere, so
Hmm.
that we can install or anything data can be stored, and we can share the data, and we can access from anywhere which has an internet connection.
Exactly right.
Yes.
The same way, even our cloud technology like AWS, Google, GCP is also doing the same thing. In,
Yes, AWS.
yeah. In other words,
Google has Google Cloud Platform. Yes, pardon.
yes, yes. Go ahead.
Google has Google own cloud, and Microsoft has its own cloud.
Hmm.
Amazon has its own cloud, and some other cloud platforms are also available.
That's good. So, what do you think exactly that Google Drive? Do you think that all the stuff, whatever the, I mean, even if you develop the application also, we can install it onto the Google Drive? Do you think that?
Maximum we can store up to 15 GB, but if we want more data, we have to pay for it. That is called paid cloud services, where it can
PASI.
be used on any Google Cloud platform, or Azure, or my I mean this AWS, Amazon also.
Yeah, no, I mean, in other words, it's an location independent, right? First
Yes,
thing, device independent, right? It's a pay
yes,
as,
device independent also.
yeah, it's pay as you go model, right? And
Yes, there is a
24 by 7 access.
yes, we can access 24/7 also.
Yeah, same features. I can find it in AWS, either it is AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, or GCP Cloud, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Then what is main, I mean, what is the different between like Google Drive and AWS? So what are all the things
The
that can be,
storage capacity, storage both are cloud only, but storage capacity varies from Google Cloud and AWS Cloud. But we can't host an operating system or in a virtual server on Google Drive. But in AWS, we can host a virtual server, and we can install the server, and we can store the data and access from anywhere. EC2 instance can be created, but in Google Drive, it's not possible to create all these kind of things.
exactly? So that is what we will be using AWS for infrastructure, right?
Yes,
So that comes into picture where we will be using AWS.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, before cloud, what is, legacy, that is tradition that most of the companies will be using?
Legacy means cloud. Uh, Commonly, I don't have much idea about legacy and all, but
Because
commonly it
as
is.
you know, you are, Windows admin and Linux admin. So before cloud,
Yes.
you might have known like what you have used before cloud.
Yeah, we can install different operating systems. Images also will be available in the cloud itself. If you want to go with an Amazon Linux, we can go with Amazon Linux, or else a licensed Red Hat Linux. Also, we can go Windows 2008 server or 2016 server. We have to pay for those. Some will be a free tier architecture operating systems, and some will be paid.
But so that is going to be in on premises, right? So everything is
Yes,
physical, right? Everything physically
yes,
we need to install, we need to maintain whether it is useful or not, but we have to maintain by 24 by 7. But there is
yes,
a cost, right?
yes,
Unnecessary
yes,
cost. There is increase in unnecessary burden in cost. So to
yes,
reduce that cost, here in AWS, it is providing like pay-as-you-go model. In the same
yeah,
way, we have talked about like Google Drive. So once you reach the 100%, so it is asking for us to, increase your storage, like paying something.
yes,
The same way in AWS also, we can go pay-as-you-go model. Let's say
yes,
suppose one e-commerce website. Let's say a customer is
yes.
asking to develop one e-commerce website. So you want to maintain for 500 customers. So he will design
Okay.
for 500 customers only. But
Yes,
before AWS or Azure, whether it is 500 or 1000 or 100, but we have to maintain huge number of computers or systems like for backup or disaster recovery, right?
yes,
There, their customer, their cost was in use. But whereas, AWS, it is reducing your cost.
yes, 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 yes,
So that is the main benefit of using like cloud technology. So what are,
yes.
in what way we can use AWS? It is an location independent, again, device
Platform
independent.
independent.
Yeah, platform that comes later. But the thing is that main you can access anywhere. That is location independent. So
Yes,
whether your device of any configuration like i5 or i3 or i2, it might be anything, but it is supporting, right?
on,
It is also device independent.
yes, yes,
Yeah, for maintaining, initially for maintaining, what are all the things we need on premises? We need security separate,
yes.
infrastructure separate, storage separate, right? Data center, then power, all these
Okay.
things we need, right? To maintain it
Yes.
on premises. But coming to cloud, that will be taken care by the who is the owner here?
Eh, Amazon only.
Yeah,
Amazon only.
Amazon. So Amazon is taking care of all the things. Like it might be a storage network or what do you call servers or power or data center. So what do you
Okay.
think? Is it a cloud means what? Do you think that it is hosted or somewhere in the cloud or what? What exactly it is?
It is hosted on the cloud only. Anything, any OS or any data which is stored on cloud only. But the thing is that we need not take care of any power failure or any disaster recovery. Any these things backups will be there and everything will be there. So we can back up the operating system. We can back up our data. So as you said, pay as you go is the main criteria for cloud, and where we can use this pay as we go options.
That's right. But the thing is that that is nothing but maintaining something of physical machines only, right? Physical
Yes,
machines with somewhere else, not in the same premises, but somewhere else in the other premises. So that is
yes,
nothing but is a cloud only. Again, that is also on premises only. But we are maintaining it on different location. But we are accessing from different location. So wherever you required, you can access it from there, right?
Yes.
So what else it can provide? Can provide AWS can provide
Uh, uh,
storage.
Extra, if there is some so for suppose we are hosting an e-commerce website,
Yeah,
there are up to you said, as you said, there are up to 1,000 users who can access.
exactly. Yeah,
But when it comes to festival times, 1,000 or 2,000 people will be accessing the same numbers. Number of hits will be increasing. So at that time, we can it automatically creates another operating system and takes the support and reduces the store and reduces the stress of getting hanged and yeah, getting hanged and the server getting rebooted for number of hits.
yeah,
Auto scaling is there.
exactly. So in this scenario, everything that is, I mean, let's say it is a peak time in Saturday and Sunday for e-commerce
Yes,
website. So for that, you need to maintain extra service, right? So for that, you need an, I mean, some expertise, right, to maintain that service.
yes,
And physically, manually, you need to migrate or you need to upgrade, right?
yes,
So when it comes to AWS, it will take in care by everything like auto scaling. We have the option called auto scaling, high
yes.
availability. High availability,
High
what is high
availability.
availability? High availability is nothing but you are maintaining with the data centers. We will having
Yes,
backup.
yes,
Yeah, but initially, they are, I mean, they are going to maintain like we used to, I mean, hire a expertise and we, I mean, need to keep a separate person for that and he will be doing everything, whatever the activities that is we assign.
okay, yes,
So, but when it comes to AWS, it is not like that. So that will be taken care by AWS itself. Once you, I mean, took the subscription, so that will be taken care by AWS itself. So, is how like when you took the e-commerce website, right?
yes,
So, what are all the that even e-commerce website also that is required? Storage, network, servers, backup,
yes,
security, right?
yes,
So, this is what is AWS and why AWS? Why AWS is I mean supreme in the market. So, what do you think?
it is superior in the market because of the prices they are offering, and not only that, the flexibility and the operating system and the operating theme is the user friendly, and all these things are there. So that's the AWS cloud is becoming number one. They care take care of the network, they can take care of the everything whatever you wanted to have. I mean, you want an extra public IP, you can get it and easily public IP, everything you can do it in AWS.
Yeah,
But once it comes to Google Cloud, we have to Azure, and we have to there is some other methods. So that's the reason why AWS is more familiar than other cloud markets like Azure and Google Cloud.
yeah, not like that. But even AWS, whatever the features that is providing by AWS is also providing by Azure also, even with the GCP. But thing is that AWS came into the market in the year 2006.
Okay.
Before Azure GCP, I mean, they first came into the market in 2006, but I mean, break even came in the year 2011 for AWS.
Yes.
I mean, they got a break even in 2011. By seeing that break even in 2011, I mean, Azure also implemented the same thing in 2011. They came in 2011, even GCP also. But even today, 70% of the market is of AWS only because there is a trusted. I mean, they got trusted by the people, right? They got trusted by the customers in the I mean companies, right? So 70% of the business is holding by AWS, 30% is holding by like they are sharing like GCP or Azure. Even GCP, they are holding, I mean, they are maintaining own servers. I mean, they are using for it, I mean, their own servers only. But AWS, that is for 70%. Slowly, it is migrating. Nowadays, there is a huge competition between AWS, Azure, and Azure is, I mean, giving some offers. Like Microsoft is having everything, right? Servers, SQL, database, network, security, right? Hello?
Ah, yes, yes, I'm listening.
Yeah. So that is why AWS is, I mean, more being popular than like Azure and GCP. Then how do we implement by using cloud technology? How do we implement? We have seen like what, why, then how. How? So before how, I want to learn like see what is server, what is server, what is Linux server, what is database server, then what is an application.
Any application, there are a lot of
Yeah,
applications which can
one minute,
store on.
1 minute. So what do you think like how two servers can communicate?
Through network and through cloud also. I mean, network is the main part, and that's what how two servers can communicate.
Okay, as a layman, that is fine, but as a technological technical person, something else is there, right? We'll use some terminology, right?
Yeah, we
So
use
basically, what is
some.
basically what? Okay, leave it, but like communication. But basically, what is server?
A server is also a computer where most of the other computers gets connected into through a network, and large amount of data can be used on the server instead of all the I mean all the client data can be stored on the server, and server every client can access the server data through network.
Okay, in simple terms, can I say it's a bare metal which is having like CPU, RAM, hard disk,
Yes,
right?
yes,
It's a bare
it
metal.
has everything.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
bare metal on top of something else. On top of let's say like you're taking any CPU or any laptop. So
yes,
what it will be when you purchase a laptop? Do you think
we
it,
can we
it comes with
we,
operating system or some other softwares? It's a bare metal, right?
we
It will be having
yes,
only
bare metal
CPU, RAM, hard disk. That's it, right?
hard disk.
Top of
Yes,
that, on top of that, you need to install any software, right? Whatever you require.
yes, yes,
So server is nothing but it's a bare metal, right? It's called
bare
bare
metal
metal. Yeah. It's like physical machine. So it consists of
physical metal.
yeah, CPU, RAM, hard disk. But what is Linux server again? Server is fine. Then what is Linux server or Windows server or Mac? What are those?
The difference between Linux server or Windows server or Mac server, we have the same bare metals like RAM, hard disk, everything. But
Hmm.
the operating system which controls the hardware and the software is operating system varies from different. Windows we have a different user friendly operating system. Linux we have a user friendly operating system different, and Mac we have a user friendly operating system. We have three different types of design. Like
Yeah, that's fine. But that is okay. That is the difference between Linux, Windows, and Mac. But if I, on top of the server, if I install Linux, that will becomes your
yes,
Linux server, right?
yes, yes,
So on top of your any server, if I install Linux, whether it is Windows or Mac, so that will become
yes,
their own server, right?
yes.
So before that, I am calling it as an only server. But when I install
Okay,
on top of the bare metal, it is a Linux, what Mac or Windows, then it
mm,
becomes their own server. So in the same way, that is the main difference
on
between
server. Yeah.
yeah, server and Linux server. Then what do you
Yes.
think web server?
Normally, on any OS, we can install web services like web services where we can access the data. Suppose we are accessing Flipkart.
Hmm.
Flipkart server is installed. The Flipkart server will be installed on one server, and the data will be stored on other server, and the payment section will be the payment gateway section will be there posted on other server. So these all these servers together communicate, and finally, if a customer is purchasing a product through online, we can get. We can connect to all these servers, and we can purchase through online.
Do you think that Flipkart.com is a server?
It's not a server. It's a web. It's not a server. It's a web server which is hosted on a particular server. I mean Linux or Windows. We don't know, but we hosted on different servers with the
Yeah.
different OS.
So as we talked before, like we have server, right? First, initially we will be
Yes.
having server. On top of the server, we will be installing like Linux. Even I mean in the IT industry, most of the servers will be 99% will be Linux only, right?
Yes.
So leave out, I mean, desktop, but most of the servers, whether it is a web server, database, whatever it be, on top of the Linux only, we are going to install
Okay.
these servers, right? So 99%
Yes.
will be Linux servers in the IT industry. So that is, we are sure, right? So
Yes. Really
yeah.
sure.
Then what is web server? Web server is like any request that is coming from the end user or client. So we can call end user as a client or end user, right? So one who is
Yes.
accessing the browser, let's say facebook.com, flipkart.com, amazon.com. So that is your client
Client server.
side. Yeah, client side. So one who is accessing the website, that request has to
Yeah.
come to some server, right?
Yes.
So whatever the web
Yes.
request, yeah, whatever the web request that is requested by the end user, so that
End
has to be
user.
served by the web server.
Web server.
Yeah, what are the web servers available in the market?
There are a lot of web servers like HTTP, Apache web server is available in the market, and
Exactly.
etc. Most commonly used is Apache web server, and we can also use HTTP as a web server. Linux.
Hmm.
These comes across. These are the main commonly used web servers in the market.
Exactly. So we will be having like Apache, Nginx, Tomcat for if it is a Java-based
Yes,
application.
yes,
Most of the times we will be using Tomcat application, sorry, Tomcat server, right? So in the same way, if you want to maintain database, we will be having database server. So that is your backend.
database connectivity,
That is your,
backend,
yeah,
MySQL, all
exactly.
this.
MySQL or MS SQL, right? Oracle, right?
Oracle.
DB2. So there are a lot of databases available in the market. So most
Yes,
popular is MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle. So these are all the servers. So that is your backend. The same way
yes.
application. What is